Let's dig into form steps a little bit more. Form steps are a powerful tool for allowing operators to quickly input a bunch of different pieces of information at once, and then later you can even write dynamic logic based on what the operator put into that form. So I'm in the steps list over here, and what I've done is I've actually separated my steps based on some common factors. So you can see the instructions step group. I can just hit add step group as a demo right here, but the instructions one has all the work instructions. And then I'm going to go to the forms area, which has these general forms that can be accessed from any step. So I'll click Defect Report, and you can see we have a few different options on this particular defect report. We've got the defect description, which is a text field. You can see that over here in the widget tab of the context pane. Then we have the defect type. So that's actually a drop down, and you can see the options here, chip or crack, dent, scratch, other. So it gives a pre-selected set of options. We've got a Boolean, which means is it yes or no, is it repairable? And then we've got the defect photo. So this actually connects to the webcam that's on the computer and allows a person to easily take a picture. And you can add a form step by going up here, clicking add, and then we're going to add, for example, a text field from the widget bar up here. So you can see there's a Boolean, drop-down, multi-select, text, number, photo, time, and date widget. So I'll just add text. We're going to give it a label. So let's imagine that it's the work order number. And then I'm going to go down here to make it required so that people have to input it before they're allowed to proceed. And then I'm going to click out of the text widget, and then you're going to see the options for this form step as a whole. So I'm going to rename it, call it work order input, and then you can see I can modify what happens on the submit button and the cancel button. So on the cancel button, we can do anything. In this case, go to the previous step. Submit button, we have multiple options, like go to next step, complete app, go to step, stuff like that. Okay, so we're probably going to want to write logic around the values here that the operator inputs, and the way we do that is by tracking them in a variable. So a variable is a container that can store values that are dynamic based on the time that the app is being used. So we can set this right here in the widget tab of the context pane. I'm going to go down to variable, and you can see there's no variable selected right now. I'm just going to click the plus button so that we can add a variable. And look at that, it automatically gives it a name, work order input, and then work order number. So we can change this if I want to just like work order num. I'm going to click out of it, and there we go. I just created another new variable around tracking that value. So obviously you'll want to see all the values of different variables across all app completions, because that's one of the most important parts of Tulip, is knowing what happened at your shop floor at any given time. So I'll go over here to the Tulip terminal. We're going to go back to the app summary view, and then I'm going to click the completions tab. In this case, I have some fake data that I loaded up a long time ago, so I'm going to click back to March. I'm going to click development version. Whoops, I'm in February actually. And you can see that we have all these sample completions from May 17th. So we've got the start time, the end time, the total duration in the app, the person logged in, the sample station, all that is default. And I can even click this link here, and you can see the amount of time spent on each step. But the valuable thing when it comes to variables is that if I scroll right here, you can see all the values of those variables at that time. So in this case, defect type, how did it vary across all these app completions? You have it right there. And that's one of the most valuable parts of variables, alongside being able to write logic in them in triggers, which I will show you next.